This is Cupressus sempervirens Stricta, or Italian cypress, Mediterranean cypress, also known as pencil pine, and I've even seen funeral cypress. So it has a lot of different names, but one of the more distinctive trees you'll see anywhere. And this is a good example. I live in Northern California, and throughout California these were used a lot in the 60s and 70s. And these trees you see here are probably 40 to 50 years old, and they are about 40 to 50 feet high by 3 to 4 feet in diameter or wide. It's a good close-up. So in California, one of the benefits of this tree, they're very drought tolerant. Most of the ones you see are older. They were popular a long time ago, and now they're not so popular. Here I'm just showing you a close-up where they get spiders here. We don't get rain for probably 7-8 months out of the year from spring until fall here, and the spiders like these because they're above the irrigation and they don't have any water on them, so they form their spider webs in them. Also, you can see how the limbs start to hang out and stick out kind of like a bad hair day on the side. So as they get older, that's one of the things to be aware of. Because they're so high, they're also hard to prune or to manage as they get more mature. So that's something to think about, is really, if you're going to use this for a long-term solution, you need a larger application for them to be appropriate, in my opinion, as a design element. 40 to 60 feet is a very large plant, and that's kind of where they max out. And they can get as wide as 6 to 7 feet wide with maturity, and even wider, but generally I haven't seen too many wider than that. So where to use them in design? In design, I think they're great as very strong punctuation. So that said, if you've got architecture where stylistically these make sense, or an avenue coming up a road to a more prominent residence, I think that type of a thing is appropriate. These used to be used, as you see here, as an effort to screen people between properties. I've never really cared for that because it feels like soldiers kind of lining the property and protecting it. So for me, this isn't a tree that we use a lot because to feel right and in the right context, I think there's very few design situations where that's an appropriate feel, at least for what I do. I do a lot of residential design, and for me this is a larger plant for larger applications. This is a very drought tolerant plant in Northern California. We have low humidity, below 20% most of the year. We don't have any rain for 7 months or so. And that's during the heat of the year as well. So it's very drought tolerant. I think it does look much better when it gets some summer rain. But again, it's native to Mediterranean areas where they don't get much summer rain, and it does just fine. I just think the foliage looks less dried out and a little happier than what you see here when it gets that rain. So there's a variety called Tiny Tower, and it only gets about 8 to 10 feet high and 2 feet wide. I think for a lot of applications that would be one that one could use when you want this columnar feel in your design. Again, as I said earlier, this is a very tall grower, and for very few applications is that appropriate. So that's what I can tell you about Italian cypress, Cupressus sempervirens Stricta. Very striking plant when used in the right place. Enjoy.